Well. Welcome to the show, fellas. Welcome to the Gabbin' in the Games. Nice to see everybody. Make sure we're all up and running here. Are we live? I think we're live. Welcome, everybody, to the video game show. Hang on, fellas. Let me get my microphone here. I got to read. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. What's going on, fellas? And Filettis, it's nice to see you. Look, welcome to, what is it, Thursday already? Good God almighty. We have a lot of video game news to discuss. The Switch 2 comes out today. Came out last night, midnight. We'll talk about that. Obviously, State of Play is kind of confusing me, but maybe not really. I think that was one of their best states of play in a long time. However, if you approach it from a certain angle that we will talk about today, I don't need those. If you approach it from a certain angle, I understand why certain people are upset. But I think it was a great fucking show. A lot of great games coming. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the 007 trailer, which is now my most anticipated game out there. We are going to jump around and discuss
debut game from
worrisome discussions happening about Mind's Eye, Metal Gear Solid, some secrets in that trailer, a bunch of other stuff. We'll be taking your comments and just super chatting away. Now, Morgan says it was a 10 out of 10 show. Neo demo has been amazing. I have not played it yet. I will tell you that if we get 15 new members, either for yourself or gifted, I will wake up tomorrow at 9 a.m. and we will stream an hour of gameplay, and I'll make it Nioh 3 on the PlayStation. Smog says the focus on Eastern developed games has made me happy. I agree. I absolutely agree. It was really cool to see that. Fuck it, we'll just jump into PlayStation first. We'll get to Switch in a minute. I was so happy to see that there are a lot of games still coming out, and I don't know if just maybe the tidal wave hasn't really hit them when it comes to sort of the cost of games going. I don't know what it is. The cost of games going up, and maybe they haven't been hit with that yet because their economy is different. What they have to pay is different. I don't know. But the fact that they could get, I think it would be very difficult for anyone in America to get funding for a game like Romeo is a Dead Man. I think that's absolutely, those games don't get funded in America anymore, right? It's a ridiculous theory, concept, right? So I agree. I mean, from that, Bloodstained, where are they getting the fucking money for Bloodstained? Bloodstained 2, that looks amazing. Who's paying for that? Seriously, it's not Konami. Konami should sue somebody, but it's not Konami paying for that. I couldn't go out and get funding for that in America. I understand that you get into a situation where you say, well, the first one did well enough. It was kickstarted. It's kind of a sure thing. I get it. Everything's got its own little wrinkle to make a story about why something was a success. And I'm sure, but it's just that it was game after game after game of like, who the fuck is funding these? These would not get funded in America. So I agree. I absolutely thought it was just really, really good. Really, really good stuff. And it was great to see the Asian influence there. Obviously, the game at the end was delightful. I don't know how they're going to keep that title. Whatever the fighting game is called, it's a very strange little title, but the Marvel fighting game looks fantastic as well. So I'm excited about it. I saw a lot of good things. We'll get to that, but you would be, and there were even some VR titles, Prince Green, right? There were the goddamn Thief. That was the first time. And it was nothing. I don't want to oversell it. It wasn't the first time I saw VR on PlayStation and said I want a PSVR 2 because it looked so amazing. It was because, I haven't played VR in a very, very long time. MetaQuest or my old PSVR 1. And seeing that made me go, I'm kind of longing to go back into VR. And seeing Thief that looked really good. And I know the only reason I might wait to pick up a PSVR 2, though, is because Zuckerberg's putting out a new, very streamlined under $1,000 competitor against the Apple iPro Vision, whatever it's called. And I think that's going to be kind of the next one I get. So I may just wait because I'm sure Thief will be on that as well. But I agree. It was surprising to see VR titles as well, which then leads you to the question, why are people so goddamn upset? If you watched, we watched it here yesterday, but we were popping back and forth to the Sony presentation of it on YouTube. And if you watch, people were hitting L's. They were not fucking happy. And at first I was like, okay, these are just contrarian assholes. They're just trolls. Who gives a shit? But then I guess I could see it from the angle of, oh, what they were upset about, it wasn't that they thought the things that were shown are necessarily going to be bad. It was, some of it was fanboying, because most of those games they showed are going to be on everything PC and Xbox and Switch 2. That they probably got upset about. And probably what they were more upset about is just a constant reminder that the days of old are gone for them, and that the days when Sony first party was pumping out banger after banger after banger of original IP, maybe those days are over. Now, at first, I would say that is a result of the economy, right? That's the result of games becoming way more expensive to make. And obviously that's true. But then you look at what has been happening at Microsoft, and Microsoft, whether you love South of Midnight, whether you love the new Doom game, whether you love Avowed or whatever it is that they're putting out over there, they have now finally figured out how to get their teams putting out games on the regular that are AA at worst, AAA at best in terms of budget. And when you now see Microsoft doing a cadence of release, not at the level of quality, you know, and there's something to be said for that, right? I imagine Sony would probably look at South of Midnight and go, and I haven't played it, but people tell me it's kind of boring. They probably wouldn't have released it as is. They probably wouldn't have gotten that far into development without going, okay, but we need the gameplay to be more interesting. But still, it's hard to look at Xbox's output now and go, why isn't Sony able to do at least something like that? And I know it takes time to catch up. They shat the bed. You know, they stumbled really badly. And maybe they'll come back around. But I maybe that's what people are talking about when they say they didn't like the show yesterday. Because I was looking at it going, and I'm going to play most of those games on PC, but if I played most of my games or all my games on console and I had a PS5, I'd be like, I'm good, man. There's so much good stuff coming, and that doesn't include the first party shit that we know about and don't know about. There is still going to be PlayStation stuff revealed at Keighley's show tomorrow, but I'm almost certain it's not going to be any big thing. It might be, I don't fucking know, DLC for Helldivers or some such shit, but I don't think you're going to be seeing, you know, a new Ghost trailer, of course, because that's going to be a deep dive in July. You're not going to see the reveal of Corey's game, I don't think. Although, to be fair, they did introduce Interstellar at the Game Awards, so who knows? Maybe we'll see Wolverine. Maybe we actually, because Interstellar was such a big get for Keighley, I don't know, maybe we will actually see one of the big titles tomorrow. That would be cool. Maybe that's why there was such a lack of first party there yesterday, because Sony, you know, think about that. I don't know what the numbers are. You guys could look them up, but my guess is Summer Games Fest gets so many more eyes on it than a PlayStation State of Play that even Sony, the biggest console maker out there right now, is going, if we're going to show off Wolverine and be like, oh my God, Wolverine is back. Everybody was disappointed in the leaks, but we've got something special here. Or they're going to show off Corey's game, or they're going to show off gameplay of Interstellar or whatever, Intergalactic, whatever the fuck it's called. Maybe that's where they're going to do it, because I do think the numbers are probably higher than what you would get on a quarterly State of Play. Brett Moore, thank you so much for the 5 gifted members. Morgan Renfield of the Cincinnati Renfelds, thank you so much for the gifted membership. And Awesome Tatum, you guys are always supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Let's get those numbers up. We are now 5, 6, 7 in. We're almost halfway to a 1-hour Neo demo stream tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on this very channel. Let me update that. We have now arrived at the number that I like to call lucky number 7. Okay, there we go. Thank you guys for that very much. Only 8 more, and we'll be doing that. We'll be doing that demo. So, let me go to some of the chat, see what you guys are saying. Let me also tell you what this little sexy lady is doing up here at the top of the screen here. $20 iterative. It doesn't have to be $20 all at a time. $1.99, $5. Every time a dollar gets spent, she will shoot the alien that's coming to attack her. If she can basically take him out in 20 shots, I'll tell you a PlayStation story regarding God of War development that you've probably never heard. You may have heard it, but I'd be stunned. I'd be stunned. So if you're a God of War fan and you want to know some deep dive into production development, that'll cost you $20, but you'll also be able to help the lady take out the bad guys. How's that a bad thing? How's that a goddamn bad thing? Morgan says, who gives a shit about Sony IP? The state of play was a 10. Well, again, I think what it is of course, that you play. I know what you play. You play like I do. You play up and down the budgetary spectrum. You play all kinds of games. And for you, even though hopefully we'll still see Resident Evil 9, I know you would be interested in that, but for you just care about the games, right? But if you're one of these people, and you know they're out there, that they really seem to give a shit about, I don't know, man, I don't want to be dicks to them, because there are some people that maybe came to gaming and discovered gaming by way of Uncharted and Tsushima and God of War, and that's just in Ratchet, and that's just all they like. They don't give a shit about game systems. They don't give it in terms of gameplay mechanic systems. They don't give a shit about the lore of Castlevania. They just like their big budget Sony cinematic games. And there's no doubt that was lacking. And so I can understand why they would be upset, but it's hard to be upset when we got a bunch of fucking other great stuff to look forward to. Jaffe says, PK, I didn't see you pop up for Twisted Metal 3 and 4 that's coming to the classic section. Yeah, because they're not very good games. I'm not going to fucking play those games. Hell, I can barely go back and play 2. I did go back and play 2 recently when they put it out, and I was like, oh, this kind of sort of semi still holds up, but I wasn't, I didn't finish it. I certainly ain't going to spend any time or money on 3. All right. PSVR 2 is $350 right now, says Brett Moore, and you can use it with PC as an adapter. I agree. My only concern there is if I do that, then I'm probably going to be like, okay, I'm not going to buy the Meta. And I think the new Meta one's going to decimate all of them. Apparently they're going around to the movie companies yesterday. This was the story. They're going around to Disney. They're going around to a bunch of independents, Lionsgate, I think, and their big thing is sort of 3D immersive movies, not like a 3D movie, but you know how it's like it's a 180 almost diorama, and you can kind of move around a little bit in it. And so if you're watching an original Star Wars series that Meta pays Disney to make, you're actually able to kind of walk around, and it's still a movie. It's not a game. So you're still immersed in a narrative, a linear narrative, but you're actually in it. You know, I don't think you're going to see that on PSVR 2 because Meta's paying for it to be exclusive. This is interesting. Stanley Buffington of the Connecticut Buffingtons, very rich and snobby family, but they donate their money to good causes. He says Microsoft spent $80 billion for their first party games. Come on, man. Come on, man. What? That's not my problem. It's not my. You're doing the console fanboy bullshit. I'm just telling. Look. Do I give a shit why McDonald's French fries taste better? I mean, seriously, think about what you're saying for a minute. You're arguing as to the why, but I'm a consumer. I assume, Stanley Buffington, you're a consumer. I don't care why McDonald's French fries are better than Burger King's. They just are. It's like, well, come on, man. McDonald's spent more money lobbying the potato farmer union to make sure that they get the very best potatoes. I don't give a shit. It's not my job to worry about why. It's my job to worry about where I want to spend my money on fun things to play. And so I don't get, then if that's what Sony needs to do to compete, then that's what they should do. I don't, that's a them problem. That's not a you problem or a me problem. They actually did used to be fried in cow fat, lol-cow, the McDonald's fries. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Again, we are close to Neo. We're 8 members away. 8 gifted or your own personal membership for this beautiful channel. If you sign up for Cult Calypso, by the way, that'll count for 2. And we're going to be doing a lunch with Jaffe this month. I don't know who the guest is going to be yet, but I'm in the process of working on it. Now, before we get into some more of the stories, I do want to tell you, I want to bring your attention now. She's not working right now, so hopefully we can come back to this a little bit later. I know she's kind of a divisive figure on the internet in the world of like Keemstar and people in my Discord. This woman Lynx, they were kind of like, we don't want her in the Discord. There's all this drama that I don't really follow. She's always been nice to me. She seems like a nice lady. What, I don't give a shit what, people, whatever. But here's what she does good. Well, only thing I know about is that she does, I don't know why that's there. I do, but it shouldn't be there. It should be on the other screen. And my head should not be here either. She does statues. She prints statues and she ships them out after she paints them. So right now she's doing 2 statues for me that I think she said they're going to ship out on Friday that I am super excited for. The first one that you can kind of see here, she's in the process of painting, is Supergirl. And it's the Melissa Benoist Supergirl, and she's doing the base. She's got like Coke cans and bricks and money. She's going to put it at the base. She's painted the jeans already. And then obviously here's the cape, and she's starting to work on the face. So we'll check in with her throughout the stream, see what she's up to. The other one she's doing is Bloodborne. She's doing a Bloodborne statue for me that is almost done printing, and then she will paint that and send that on Friday as well. So I'm going to have a beautiful new Supergirl statue back there and a beautiful Bloodborne statue back there. So I'm excited. Jaffe, do you think Jade Raymond's game is going to Concord? Maybe that's why she jumped ship. Yeah, the picture's cut off. In that this is her, I'm not cutting the picture off, but this is just, she's probably gone to lunch, gone to the bathroom. I don't know what she's doing. She's still streaming. Maybe I can rewind it. Can you rewind Twitch? I don't fucking know. This is just where she left her camera, but it's pretty good. Okay, we'll see if she decides to come back anytime soon. If so, we'll show it to you. Okay. But yeah, I don't think it's been revealed if Raymond left of her own accord or she was fired, like Brett says, after an internal review. So who's to say? But I do think that game has always looked underwhelming and generic. And from people who I've talked to, who've talked to people who've played it, which is basically, and I think this is, I don't want to say it because I don't know if they've reported on it yet, but someone reported on it, and somebody played it in a play test and said it was very generic, very underwhelming, very fucking dull. And so whether she left because she knew it was going to shit the bed, or it doesn't sound like something Jay would do, or she was pushed out, I don't know. But I think it's going to not do well if it even comes out at this point. They're probably racing around trying to figure out how to save it. I think, what's the other one? The Destiny guys, Bungie's Marathon, it seems dead on arrival as well. So anyway, we'll see. GeForce Now, says Alex, good to see you. Had 40% off summer sale live. That's $40 Canadian for 6 months. GeForce Now. Do I recommend it over the Switch too? Well, if you do a test on the streaming and it plays great or acceptable for you, I have no interest in the Switch anyway, and we'll talk about that in a second. But what I can tell you is I think you will enjoy gaming a hell of a lot more if you dive into GeForce Now, especially at the highest level. Now, again, you don't own anything, so if you like to collect and all that, I get it. But just in terms of the amount of games you can play, the quality of them, the variety of them, if you have an opportunity to go Switch or you have an opportunity to go GeForce Now, go GeForce Now every goddamn day of the week. Yeah, I'll be playing Pragmata day one. But, speaking of the Switch, if you still want one, this is footage from Destin, who's on his own now. He used to be with IGN. You guys know him. I've been on his show. He's been on my show. And he says, look, man, I just walked into my local Target, and there's still there's Switches.
Look at that.
Or Target or Walmart, wherever
They still got a bunch. They have
you can get them right
10
now.
of them just on display.
So
here.
I'm not
so
saying
I was
they're
get the Zelda
easy to
games
get.
anyway.
But they
So I'll
ain't
get
so
the Zelda
hard
games.
that if you called around in some places, you could probably get your hands on one this weekend, if not tonight. But I don't know, man. I can tell you.
Oh no! Look at
this, and I know I don't know.
like
This has been a pretty underwhelming
so I was
launch
get the Zelda
for me
games
to
anyway.
watch
So I'll get the Zelda
peripherally.
games.
I don't really. I don't think they're bombing. Morgan says Nintendo's bombing. I mean, there were lines around the block, but of course that doesn't mean anything. That's always the case with when a new piece of hardware launches. The Ouya probably had a couple people waiting.
So I was going to get the Zelda games anyway.
So I'll get the
Zelda games.
I just think they. If you look at the reviews, and I'll read you some of the reviews, just from some of the major sites and stuff. The general take, on it. Yeah, Rob says Spaz has a Switch 2, and I think he likes it. I haven't seen anybody get a Switch 2 and say, I think this is bad. I think the general consensus is it really worth it? Is it underwhelming? Are we looking for something more exciting? John says, we're not in a pandemic and a chip shortage. This is how console launches are supposed to look. Well, I don't know where you're getting that from. This is certainly not this is not how console launches that are successful usually look. It might be this is how it should look because Nintendo did a good job of making enough product. But usually if you're talking about like a Sony launch or the Wii launch, and those were not in the chip shortage, those are in the zeitgeist. Everybody's talking about them. You can't get them. They're being scalped to heaven and back. Well, Arathizzle's, I agree. Arathizzle says you don't buy a Switch 2 for the hardware. It's not even worth talking about from a hardware perspective. I agree. That's not what I agree. It's all about the gameplay with Nintendo, which is why I love Nintendo. But what they have shown so far, just isn't that compelling. Like the Mario Kart game, most people say it's pretty good. There are some really addictive aspects to it that we've seen in other games, whether it's the rail grinding and the wall racing to get to shortcuts, or the 24 racing where people drop out every 4 times. That's cool. But we've seen that in other games before, and everything else is in fact, if you go to, I want to say it's Euro. Let me see. No, it's GameSpot. GameSpot came out and said these are the best games that you can get on Switch right now, Switch 2. And the only one, Mario Kart's in there, and everything else they listed, there were 4. Mario Kart World, the other 2 were the Zelda upgrades, which you've already played, and then Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster, which is a remaster of a 2013 game, which I'm sure is great. And again, this is not to knock the Switch 2. I mean, I don't care if I knock the Switch 2. What the fuck do I care? But there's not anything really exciting to play. Okay, Jaffe, but has any launch really blown us away? It's games that come later that get folks on board. Yeah, there have absolutely been launches there are the launches that blew us away, like obviously the N64 and seeing Mario 64, or the PlayStation 1 seeing 3D, or the jump from PS1 to PS2. I think PS4 was a really big deal launch. So this definitely is a very muted launch. I don't think you can deny that. If you think Nintendo is putting out good hardware or significant upgrade, that is hilarious. It's about the games. Yes, I agree. Which is why this is such a weirdly disappointing launch from Nintendo. Because I wasn't expecting an amazing piece of hardware. I was just expecting to go, oh my God, that's so clever. I have to play that game now. I've never seen that. I love how they did that. So for you guys in the chat, like Denova saying Nintendo's always been about the games. I know. That's not news to anyone who follows games and plays games. But what's the surprising part is not that. The surprising part is what game is compelling. Everything, just even the games they're putting out, and they've announced, even like Bazanga, whatever the fuck it's called, the Donkey Kong game coming out in August, just looks like more of the same, right? So even in the Metroid 3D game, just looks like, all right, I'm sure it'll be great, but there's nothing they showed in the trailer at a mechanics level that make you go, holy fuck. Jaffe, do you think more people will buy Switch at the upcoming holidays if they implement Game Pass? Says Alex. I don't, I mean, sure, but Game Pass is weird though. Game Pass today put out their, new games coming. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But the Achilles heel for Game Pass, which I have copped to, even though it doesn't affect me that much, is that games just take a long time to play through. And so I think a lot of people are missing out on how great Game Pass is, because ultimately they go, it's going to take me 3 months to play this game I just bought. Why would I subscribe to the service if I'm only going to play one game at a time? It's going to cost me at that point about the same as owning it, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but I have to finish it in 3 months. So, but I fucking love Game Pass though. All right. By the way, again, gameplay for an hour tomorrow. Doesn't have to be Nio, but I'll do Nio. That's what you guys want. We're 8 members away. It's $40. And I guess you don't want the OG PlayStation story, which is fine too. That's going to cost you, wait, is that $20? I don't know what it is. That'll cost you $20. $20 in super chats. You will hear, you'll help this young lady at the top of the screen defeat the evil vampire robot, and B, you will hear an old school PlayStation story that you probably never heard before. Maybe the problem is you don't understand just how goddamn beautiful this young woman is. Let me show you. She is out there defending our galaxy, defending our world from I don't know, bad people. There she is right there. You can see her. Use your goddamn eyeballs. Okay. I'm sure Mario Kart World is fun, says Eternal. It's just not that big system seller for people who aren't diehard Nintendo only fans. I don't know about that. I absolutely think that Nintendo Mario Kart being one of the best-selling games of all time and a huge family game, I could see a lot of people excited about it. But I think the problem is, if you look, here's another quote. This is from The Guardian, right? The Guardian says, the reviewer said the upgrade feels rather belated after 8 years of waiting. I was hoping for something actually new. And aside from the fact that you can now use the controllers as mice by turning them sideways and moving them around on a desk or your knee, there isn't much new. And then he said, this is the clincher. He says, absorbed in Mario Kart World, the main launch title, it was easy to forget I was even playing a new console. So I think if you show a family Mario Kart that is addicted to Mario Kart 8 and they play it all the time, and you walk into a Best Buy or wherever and you see Mario Kart World, and it's like, okay, this is a $500 bundle to get the system and the game, but this just pretty much looks almost like Mario Kart 8 that we have at home. So that, I think, is the problem, is that it doesn't really look visually or mechanically like an upgrade. It just sort of looks like, oh, it's just more tracks. We're good. I don't want to spend $500 on that. That's what I think, but we'll see. We'll see. You goddamn right, Adam. Throw the ducats. Let's support the show so we can keep doing it for a good goddamn long time. Jaffe, is it fair to say when Nintendo consoles don't have a strong new gimmick, they flop? No, because some have had a really good gimmick and they did well, and some good gimmicks or gimmicks that were strong flopped. I would say the gimmick, it's not so much about the gimmick. It's, in my opinion, it's about them putting out a piece of hardware that fills a need that a lot of people didn't realize they had, which is any kind of that's business 101. Make something no one's thought about, but when you see it, you go, oh my God, of course, right? So whether it was the portable meets a dock, which to be fair, Apple did and PCs were doing 20 years ago, but Nintendo was the first console to really get to it, or whether it was the motion controls, or whether it was the clamshell, so people were, even though that wasn't innovative, it scratched the itch in the market in knowing that younger people who drop this shit, it needs to be like a Tonka machine, like the 3DS was or the DS was, versus the PSP, which was beautiful and pristine, and you never wanted to breathe on it wrong because you might break it. Whereas, so yeah, I certainly think that they do really well when they introduce a concept and execute on a concept that when people see it, they say, that's cool. I don't think I'd be surprised if the Switch 2 ended up becoming like GameCube. Even the games, even Cyberpunk, apparently, that when you are playing it on the Switch 2, which you would think now, and I get it, it's a hardware thing, blah, 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 and no one buys those for hardware, but the fact that you're buying a $500 system and that game, which is now 2 years old, still doesn't run as good as it can run on a PC or PS5, not even a PS5 Pro, I could see a lot of people going, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. This doesn't feel worth the money. What did you think of the PSP when it launched, says Rob? When the PSP launched, I thought it was going to eat the goddamn lunch of Nintendo. I did a tweet about it. I was like, because I had been playing on, somebody had a 3DS or a DS, whatever it was called. And then I think it was Alan Becker who brought one, a PSP dev kit from Japan or whatever. And my mind was fucking blown. I was like, this is going to change everything. But it didn't, for a lot of reasons that we've talked about ad nauseum, which really are all Sony's fault. They should have known better, but there you go. But anyway, most of the reviews I've seen, Games Radar says, and again, this is the technical thing, no one's surprised by this. The Nintendo Switch cannot keep up with the PS5, but nobody was expecting it to. It costs the same as a PS5, says Games Radar, and if you're only looking for dock play, it's not the best choice overall. Everything lacks the final touch of sharpness in dock mode compared to the PS5. Faces, textures, and long-distance details are slightly less detailed, but obviously that's not the main reason you would buy it. Rolling Stone says, is it worth it? It's pretty much worth it if you want to play Mario Kart World. Otherwise, you should probably wait. On and on and on and on. Obviously, I wanted to play this just because, Dreamcast guy has the most cringy thumbnails in the business. But I did think what he says here at the end. He was not very happy with his... he's played for 12 hours with his Switch 2. And this is what he had to say. Here you go.
I definitely regret buying the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm going to do a separate video specifically about Mario Kart World because now that I've played about 7 hours of it, the game just sucks. This is by far the worst Nintendo launch game I have ever seen. But I do...
Now, I haven't heard people saying it sucks. I don't think anybody is playing Mario Kart World and saying it's game of the year. It's the best Mario Kart ever. But this is the most damning review, and I don't take that serious. I mean, I mean, maybe he's right because I haven't played it and he has. He spent 12 hours on it. But whatever, that's not the reason I'm playing you the clip though. That just leads into what he's saying.
I do want to end this on a note and say that I don't want this video to ruin your fun. If you only game on Nintendo consoles, if you've been looking forward to this thing for 8 years, this is your best day ever, don't let me rain on your parade. The world is tough. The world is dark. Stuff is very, very hard out there. If you saved up, if you bought this, if you're super excited for Donkey Kong Bonanza, I'm not here to tell you you're wrong or bad. I'm just saying that to me, as a person with a Steam Deck, with a good PC, with a PlayStation 5, with an Xbox, this thing is definitely going to be gathering dust very, very soon. 4K, 120 FPS, somehow still blurry as hell. No, thank you.
So again, I mean, look, I get that he is a guy that a lot of people don't like. His thumbnails are cringy, But I think his point is pretty valid when it comes to saying if you have a PS5 or a PC or a ROG Ally and you go, I'm buying a Switch 2 today, you're probably going to be not very thrilled. Because even in his opinion, Mario Kart World is not staggeringly amazing. That's all. I don't think that. PK says, why not show Victor Lucas or Gene Park instead? I don't know if they have videos, but I mean, I'll show you Gene Park. I'll show you Victor's. I don't think Gene has a video, does he? Victor Lucas. I haven't watched Victor's, but again, Victor's thumbnails are not clickable like this guy's because I'm like, I always click on them because they're so gross. Victor Lucas, Switch 2. Let's see what he said. Did he review it? All right, let's see. It's 2 months ago. Let's just go to his website, I guess. Electric Playground. Here we go. I mean, this was like a month ago. He played. I don't know. Why don't you tell me what was his takeaway? But anyway, yeah. If he expected it to change the genre, he's an idiot. I get it, guys. But all I can tell you, is that it to me, it's not so much expecting something to change the genre. Here's what it is. Here's what I think it is. I think if you do play on PlayStation or Game Pass or PC, and you are aware of all of the other games that are out there, this current crop of Nintendo launch games doesn't see Nintendo at their height. It doesn't, for example, I'll show you this. We streamed this on Saturday, and where did it go? We streamed this Saturday. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I just want to show you what I was looking at. Here you go. When I watched this showcase, the Horror Game Awards showcase, and I don't mean to harp on it over and over and over, but there were so many more interesting, games that if I saw stuff like this on the Switch and I could only play it on the Switch, I would say, oh my God, cool. That's cool. Right? Let me just show you this one trailer, and by the way, I downloaded the demo and I did not like the demo, but I loved the idea of the game, right? That's what I'm saying. There's nothing they've put out for the Switch 2 coming in the short term or coming launch day that makes me feel the way a lot of these trailers did. And so, yeah, I agree, Cyclown. Most people should just get a PC if it's one choice or platform at this point, because I think that's the thing. If you've been playing on PC, which was Dreamcast Guy's point, and that is an option for you, the thing that Nintendo used to rule the roost on, a lot of these indies have now come in and they're doing it every week. Even if it's just a low budget thing like Repo or Section 1 or what have you. But let me just show you this trailer. This is the kind of innovation or wow, that's cool that I expect from Nintendo, and that we don't have that. I think it's a valid. If you're gonna trumpet and buttress up Nintendo because their hardware is not the best, with the correct argument of it doesn't need to be the best, they're the masters of gameplay, which is what counts most, and I agree with you, then when they release a bunch of titles or any titles for a piece of hardware and they are not at that level, then you really owe it to honest discourse to acknowledge that and say that. Otherwise, you just kind of seem like a fanboy. Is a problem. But let me just show you this one trailer for Tenebrous Somnia, and it is not It is absolutely not. I didn't like the demo, but I loved the trailer, and I loved what it wants to be about, but it just has too many puzzles. But watch this trailer real quick. So no, the live action is the game, and the live action and the 8-bit is the game. So like this scene, this that you just saw in the trailer, where this lady comes at her and then it immediately turns into gameplay. That's real, and it's really cool because you're engaged with this cutscene. They're very quick little snippets, and suddenly that thing that just blew your mind visually, because the cutscenes are really good, is now chasing you. That really works for some reason. That really fucking works, right? And so, it's not that I'm like, this is a Game of the Year contender. It's not. But I'm just saying that that's my expectation for when Nintendo puts stuff out. I want to be like, wow, that's really cool. That's really neat. Jarvie says, did you say it has too many puzzles? It's a Clock Tower inspired horror game. They're going to have a lot of puzzles. It's not what I mean. It's not what I mean at all. It's I don't mind puzzles in horror games, but this was, oh, by the way, Tech Protect is here. Tech Protect, Captain Loudpack says, Jaffe, where's my document? I've moved, so I have a different address. Can you please help me get this man his document, Tech Protect?
Ashoka Tano has just donated $10 through Super Chat.
Thank you, buddy.
I'm getting a Switch 2 and I'm getting a Steam Deck 2, and I'm sorry, but that video you showed of that extra stock really annoys me due to the guy's attitude.
He says, seems like a Switch 2 hater. I don't think there was an attitude there, was it? He just played. I didn't even play the audio. Let's see. Let me show you real quick. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. 1 second, I'll go back to that. But this is, I think this is what you're talking about, right?
Oh no! Look at that. They still got a bunch. They have like 10 of them just on display here. So I was gonna get the Zelda games anyway. So I'll get the Zelda games. What else? Yeah, I'll go see if I can get some help.
I don't know what you mean. The guy's attitude. He bought a Switch 2 and he's buying 2 Zelda games. I don't understand what attitude you're talking about, Ashaka. But thank you for the super chat, because you know what that does? It helps us protect our young lady up here who is fighting for your safety and mine. How much did you spend? $10? Not a problem, pal. Oh, that's loud. Is that too loud? Probably. Hang on. I got to turn that down. Let me turn that down. Sorry, fellas. There we go. There we go. All right, you get the idea. You get the idea. Sorry. I'll turn it down next time. We're at $10 away from hearing a PlayStation original story. And after that, by the way, what's coming up next is I'm going to show you guys, if there's enough time, a PlayStation 1 cult classic you have probably never heard of. I will play it on screen for about 10 minutes, and then I'll get back to the news, and I will also give you a chance to compete with me on it. There's a lot of lore there when it comes to game development at Sony first party, and a game I worked on between Twisted Metal 2 and Twisted Metal Black. So Hello, Darth Nugget. Sorry that was too loud. I apologize. And then don't forget, we're 8 members away from a early morning stream. So, hey, look at that. Ashoka says, well, here we come. You goddamn right, Brett Moore. Thank you, Ashoka. Here's what they say. And action. I think it's going to be text-to-speech. If not, I'll read it. Maybe it doesn't work. I didn't mean to be that loud, you guys.
Well. Look at Ashoka Tano. Moneybag motherfucker, thanks so damn much. $20. It's too early to tell if the system is a success or a failure.
Sure.
I have a Steam Deck and I love the
emulation, but that portable has as much issues as the first Switch, and the Switch 2 specs are way better than Steam Deck. Absolutely. Again, this is the thing. I'm glad you're enjoying your Switch 2. I don't think it will be a failure. The biggest failures, other than like Virtua Boy, the biggest failures are from Nintendo are still wonderful systems. Like I still have it in a closet somewhere. I still have my Wii U, and is the Wii U? Yeah, the Wii U, which everybody hated. I had a lot of fun on the Wii U. Obviously, the GameCube was a great system. So I don't think anybody who buys a Nintendo system is going to feel as if it's a bad purchase. But I do think that there is a value in acknowledging the launch lineup, and what they have shown so far feels pretty uninspired, is all. Uninspired. But, that's the launch lineup. It's fine. Dude, the Wii U was great, but good that it failed because the Switch 2 is better. Right. All I'm saying is, that's what I'm saying, is that even the systems that are looked at as things that haven't done that well are still fucking awesome. Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a PlayStation story. I hope you've never heard. And then now, because she's killed the guy, but I don't have all the effects set up to have him die yet. So let's just pretend he died. Okay. Come on. You have to pretend with me. I have to pretend. So he's dead. And now we are $10 into a Colt PlayStation 1 Classic Play. It'll cost us $50 though. Actually, it only costs us $40. So, if you're interested in watching, and I don't know, some people may have heard about this game. It is excellent. And, I'm excited to show it to you if we get there. So $40 away and 8 members away on the gameplay stream. I'll tell you this story. And if enough people have heard it, I'll tell you another one, because I want you to get your money's worth. But on the Switch, though, anyway, that's all I've really got to say about it, which is, I have zero interest in buying a Switch 2 right now. And the guy who was asking earlier that said, if you have a choice, now, again, you have to be sure, God.
BT Maverick 707 has just donated $5 through Super Chat. Thanks, pal. Jaffe, did you ever catch that movie Strange Darlings? Fantastic thriller clapperboard tie Jaff.
I've never heard of Strange Darlings. JT Molnar delivers an unexpected ride with 2 breakout performances. No, but I will look into it. I see it right here. Thank you for that, buddy. Thank you so much, BT. And hey, no need to miss Gabbin' and Games. It's back now. We're just trying to figure out if we're going to be doing it at this time or earlier. So that's what we're figuring it out. But thank you for that, BT. Let me add it. We're at 15 out of 50, fellas. We're gonna fucking show you this goddamn game. Hopefully it'll be today if we get the goal in time, because it's really fun. And it's really neat, and there's really cool stories to talk about when it comes to this particular video game for PS1. I don't even think it was ever released in America. Asking, though, about this guy, that is Ravnos. I won't be able to explain to you what this is until we get the Colt PS1 Classic Play, because they're related. Cyclown says, I really do think Donkey Kong looks cool. I agree. But it doesn't look... Let's put it this way. Does it look cool? Yeah. Does it look anywhere near as cool as a bunch of the games that were at the Horror Game Awards showcase? No. Not at all. Hell, I was playing this game last night on the stream. It's called terrible title for a game, by the way. It's called like something beast, and it's like Parasite Eve, but it's different enough that it's really cool. That is interesting to me. So, but we'll see. But we'll see. I'll stick around. It's not like I'm going to abandon the goddamn thing, but I have no desire to buy one right now. Okay, so Sony, here's what I'll tell you. I'll tell you 2 quick stories. Number one is at the end, Polybeast. That's what it is, Morgan. Yes. At the end of God of War development, 2 things happened that just stuck in my brain. The first one was we were trying to come up with a lot of stuff to put on the disc because we were very inspired by DVDs at the time that were all the rage. And, we wanted developer interviews and behind the scenes art, and we got a lot of stuff on there. But when you do something like that, you have to go through what are you rewarding and what is the reward, right? And you very quickly run out of things to give because everything you give costs money and time. So, we had a bunch of stories in there that were told with still images, panning and scanning, like the dead Titan in the desert. And we had, the museum where you could walk around and see the different characters. And we had costumes and this, that, and the other. And all that was great. And we also had 2 other things we were going to do, and you can only get this, and this isn't the story you haven't heard. Maybe you probably know this if you're a God of War fan. If you got the demo disc, there is a developer's commentary that we recorded that goes over the first level. So it's me and Ken Feldman and Charlie Wynn doing what they did in DVDs, where we watched somebody play it and we talked about the development. And we ended up doing that for the whole game, and that exists somewhere, but we never had the space. And I want to say maybe where that ended up is if you bought the strategy guide for Brady, there was a disc that maybe had that on there, but so we did that, but we ended up cutting it from the game because there wasn't disc space. The other thing we cut, and this is what I wanted to tell you, the other thing we cut was, it was like the rarest fucking thing. You had to do everything. It was like, I don't remember what it was, but it was like no one was ever going to uncover this. In fact, maybe now that I'm thinking about it again, the phone numbers, maybe what it actually was the phone numbers where Kratos killed me and all that shit. That was a backup plan, as I recall, because what we actually did was, this is so dumb. I put on a poncho. I took the camera with a camera person. I said, okay, you've made it to the end. You've seen everything there is to see in God of War. I have nothing left to give you. The only thing I can give you is me just making a fucking fool out of myself. And it was pouring rain in LA. And so we went out into the parking lot and I literally stomped in puddles and rolled. I'm not fucking with you. And rolled around in these puddles that were in the Santa Monica Studios parking lot. And just got soaked and sopped like a goddamn sponge. And I was like, okay, this is so stupid, but no one is ever going to fucking see it anyway, because the frequency of somebody doing this is going to be incredibly rare. And it turned out that that is also filmed somewhere. And I would love to see that resurface. You'd think by now somebody would have found it, put it on the internet, but it's sitting on a tape somewhere at Sony Santa Monica, unless they threw it away, and that exists, right? So there's still a couple other things like that we created for it that exist, but no one has ever seen because the disk space wasn't big enough. So that is a story that I do not think most people have heard about God of War. I've got 1 million of them, but right now I'm not offering 1 million of them. But I hope you enjoyed that little peek. Very rare peek behind the scenes of God of War. Look, what is the wackiest unlockable costume Kratos almost had? I don't think that anything that was wacky and bullshit got in. right? I mean, that, the fact that he was the milk god of the milkman or whatever the fuck it was, all that got in. All that got in. So I don't remember any that we didn't have time to do or anything like that. Was Jaffe's dev team put together before PlayStation? Yeah, God of War got in. It was there was an internal team that we had up in Foster City that were actually, I think, put together to make Warhawk before it went to Incognito. And that was led by Tim Moss, who eventually was the CEO and the head of production at Santa Monica, and was the lead programmer and technical director on God of War 1 and 2. That was put together by Tim, but then they came down and they did Kinetica, and then we filled out that core team to be the God of War team. Okay. Captain Loudpack, hang on. So Captain Loudpack, yes, in the address, DM it to Tech Protect in the Discord. And Tech Protect, are you currently watching? Because if you are, I very much want him to get his goddamn design document. I'll make a deal with you, Tech. You get his thing and you bug me about it on Monday, and I will go down to UPS and I'll do it. We were supposed to do it months ago in March, so we're not taking you for a ride, pal. It's just I have ADD and Tech's, I don't know what the fuck Tech's doing. We got to talk to him. All right, there you go. But remember, seriously, you guys, look, I'm going to move on to some more stories, but I do want to tell you, don't forget, we're close to the Cult PlayStation 1 Classic. You probably can't even guess what it's called. You probably can't even guess the game. I'm going to give you a hint. There's a wedding in it. That's all I'm going to tell you. There's a wedding in it. You don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. Wink. And then we're 8 members away from a Nio 3 gameplay 1 hour stream tomorrow. Open up your hearts and give me your aortic valve. Open up your wallets and give us a little bit of money to support this great goddamn network. We would appreciate it. It's not Pursuit Force. No. Pursuit Force is a mega hit compared to the game I'm talking about. But the game I'm talking about, if you've not seen it, you will be like, oh, what a delightful remembrance when games that were console games could still be batshit crazy and good, and clearly the vision of one or two people. I'm just saying. Okay, we're gonna move on. Okay. Where are we going next, boys? But I will look up Victor Lucas's review when he puts it up, because I like Victor a lot, and he's a very positive guy. And again, I love Nintendo, man. When I read Gene Park's thing about going to Nintendo Land, Super Nintendo, whatever it's called at Universal, I just fell in love with it all over again. But, Nintendo hasn't been Nintendo for a while. And I don't mean that they're bad at all. They're great, but they're not, there's other people doing now what they did when Iwata and Miyamoto were kind of in their heyday. And, I miss that. I miss that from Nintendo. Yeah, of course. I'll be streaming, just giving you an idea. Somebody's asking when I'm going to be streaming. No doubt, Darth Nugget. Sony hasn't really been Sony either. Fuck yeah, you're right. 1,000%. Here we go. So I am going to be, there's so much, but I will be streaming. So of course we did State of Play yesterday. I will be doing Summer Game Fest tomorrow. I don't know if we'll do Day of the Devs, because we probably are going to want to open it up and talk about it afterwards. Then the IO Showcase I'm going to stream, because I am super excited. For First Light, which means Madhouse tomorrow might get jostled around. We got to figure that out. But I want to see some gameplay of First Light. And then the next thing I plan on streaming, IGN Live, I'll be streaming throughout the weekend. So I'm sure if they have something cool, we'll talk about it and I'll stream it. But I absolutely don't, it runs all day. So probably not. I may stream the Southeast Asian Game Showcase at midnight because sometimes this is so batshit crazy, the stuff they show, that I might stream this. Definitely Future Game Show, definitely Xbox, and definitely the PC Gaming Show. I will not be streaming Death Stranding. No. So all this will be, all this will be, delivered unto you on the Discord and on the Twitter and all that shit. So, let's go to, we already kind of talked about State of Play. We've already talked about State of Play. And we watched it together yesterday. Again, the biggest takeaway for me, though, is if you are complaining that Sony First Party was not in attendance, I think that's fair. I think, and if that's what you needed, or if that's what you need for, if that's what you need for a State of Play to be successful, then I get why you would be annoyed. But for me, again, how can you not look at this and go, oh my God, this fucking looks amazing? Or how can you not look at this and go, assuming it's not too janky to play, and that developer is hit or miss in that category, how can you not look at this and go, this looks like a goddamn fucking blast? Or Pragmata, how can you not look at this and go, this is probably really fucking interesting? And on and on and on and on, right? So I can't get with the people that are beating up on this particular State of Play unless it is coming from that position. CD Projekt admits the Witcher tech demo was fake. Well, that certainly doesn't surprise me. Thank you so much, Alex, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Let me pop that up. We're getting closer. We're at $17. How do you guys? You gotta see this game. Well, you don't have to. I already know what it is. I'm just telling you, it's fucking cool. But let me pop that up. Thank you, Alex. But yeah, hang on. Okay, there we go. Thanks, buddy. Okay, so the thing on that briefly, the tech demo thing, that is disingenuous though, because the idea that it wasn't the actual game, yeah, of course, kind of though, right? I mean, okay, it was still okay. So yes, we understand, but it wasn't a tech demo in the sense that it wasn't like, now we're going to show you cloth physics. Now we're going to show you a crowd simulator. All of it was marbled into a big open world they moved around in, right? And in that, though, they could still do a lot of cheating because they knew where they were going to move and all that. I don't think anybody's surprised by that, but it's still very disingenuous, right? Shame on them and shame on anyone that supports them as it relates to this kind of deception. Because, yeah, it was at a developers conference. I get it. And yeah, they wanted to put all these things together so officially the programmers could know, hey, our crowd dynamics are so much better with the new Unreal update. Or, hey, our musculature underneath the flesh is so much more realistic thanks to the update. And we're going to put it all together because it's showier. But they knew what they were doing. They fucking knew what they were doing. And I think that should not be acceptable. I mean, they should be allowed to do it. But the idea that there are gamers now, even in this chat, pushing back like, oh, you should have fucking known. No, I shouldn't have. They didn't want you to. I did know. And I said it immediately. I did a Moriarty Jaffe yesterday. Before any of this stuff came out, I was complaining about it. Because it was clear it wasn't going to be what the game looked like. But if you expect, think about what you're saying for a minute. You're expecting the average person who watches this, who comes across that demo online, to have all the caveats that you've got set aside in your brain. They called it a tech demo. Yes, it looks like The Witcher 4, and it's from The Witcher 4, but it's not. yes, it's a big open world like the game, and they talk about open world all the time, but even though we're presenting it as an open world, because it's a demo, we're staging all kinds of things. And then they say it's running off a PS5 with ray tracing on at 60 frames per second. I don't know if I believe that one. Now, that one may just be an outright fucking lie. Ravno, shut up. People like you are why trailers have to put not actual gameplay in them. This wasn't a trailer. You yourself, 4 lines above that you typed, said they called it a tech demo. So it's not a trailer. And it was deceptive. I'm not saying they broke the law, but if you don't think that was deceptive and that was bad business, then, I think you're just not a very scrupulous person. Why call it deceptive? Because it was deceptive. Because a lot of people looked at it and they're going to walk away from it going, oh my God, The Witcher 4 looks amazing. Rathizzle, again, I can't argue anymore with that. You've heard my point. I don't care if you disagree. I think you're wrong. You think I'm wrong. Let's move on. Because you're offering nothing more than just, well, why? And I just told you why. If you want to push back on that with some specifics, cool. Excellent. Do that. Do you think it works? You need to create... I don't know what that means. I just played a couple of rounds of Mario Kart and I'm sold. Okay, good. That's excellent. When they showed Cyberpunk in 2013, there was a mood piece. It took them 7 years till 2020 to come, and it took another 3 years to finish. You can't expect it. Yes, but it's not the customer's job to know the history of the company. You guys, this is what I'm saying. You guys are surveilling this from a relatively privileged, experienced perch and vantage point, right? But it's not okay that you have to have gone through a prerequisite series of classes,
Gaming has just
basically,
donated £5
to be
through
able
Super Chat.
to go,
Thanks, pal.
now
Jaffe,
I understand
you and
what
Colin
they're
are dynamite
saying.
together.
This was
Moriarty
put out
X
on the
Jaffies are
internet.
the
If they didn't
Neesbees.
want it to be put out, they should have did it behind closed doors. But this was streamed live to as many people as they could get watching it. They knew exactly what they were doing. Smog, thank you for the super chat. He says, Jaffe, you and Colin are dynamite together. Moriarty, Jaffe's are the knees bees. Always awesome to see the collabs with Last Stand. Jaffe podcast. I understood all of that except the Jaffe podcast question. A Jaffe podcast with Moriarty or just I don't know what you're asking, but thank you, buddy. And thank you for helping us get closer to our goal. We are now $22. We're almost halfway there, you guys. We are almost halfway there to show you this mystery game. And I'm telling you, you're going to love it. I don't know if you're going to love it, but I fucking love it. I think it's excellent. I think it's goddamn delightful is what I fucking think. All right, $22. Let's put that in there real quick. Come on now. 22. All right. A solo podcast, isn't kind of that what this is? You think a podcast would be different than this, or what do you mean? Educate me. I'm happy to do one if people want one, but wouldn't they rather have this where there's the interaction? I will say they never said tech demo in the showcase, and the upload from Unreal didn't say not actual gameplay. CD Projekt's upload does say that, so Unreal wanted people to think it was gameplay. Again, I just, okay. I hear you, and I agree with you, Jarvie, but it's like there's not much more we can say about it. It is what that is. I'm not going to answer him, Alex, because he just wants to argue, and I'd like to do a show, and I'd like to talk about other things. Asaka, Tano. I need to watch that show. Since Japanese developers, thank you for the super chat, started to go more multi-platform, and with Sony going more censor happy with games,
Thanks,
I just play on PC and Switch
Japanese
now.
developers started to go more multi-platform, and with
100%.
Sony going
I
more
barely
censor
touch
happy
my,
with certain
like I said, the
games.
first time I will touch
just
my
play
PlayStation 5 is going to be when, if I do the demo tomorrow for Neo 3. Because I have not, there's no reason to. Everything I play on I play on GeForce if I can. So, but thank you for that. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate it. We're up to 27 now. We may just make it, folks. We just might make it in time to show you this game. And here's what's beautiful about this game. They are, it's emulated, and you can emulate it in your browser. You can emulate it in your browser, which is how I'm going to show it to you. So if you finish watching this stream and you go, I want to play that, which I don't blame you, you can go do it right after the show. Okay. Release it on Spotify, edited, deep dives on games, interview, or deep dive. Gotcha. Okay. Could be. I gotcha. Well, I'll think about it. Absolutely. I just like streaming so much because it, keeps your brain, you're always arguing with Ravnos. I don't fucking know. Okay. Okay. Let's look. No, it is not Kudelnikov Addy Pie. I don't even know what that is. Let's take a look. Here's what I did not anticipate, by the way. No, I'm saying I agree with you, Jarvie. What you said, I agree with you. I did not anticipate this. And when I was watching yesterday's State of Play, what I was seeing constantly was a barrage of September. And I'm like, holy shit, this September is nuts. And then I realized, and then Kotaku wrote an article about this today, that with Grand Theft Auto 6 now moving, a lot of these guys raced in and said, we're going to take September. And now I could see a lot of these, or some of these games fucking moving. Because if you look at this article, here's what is September now, or close to September, right? Hiragami, which looks fine, but that's dead on arrival. Baby Steps, I think, will be fine because it's kind of like a streamer jokey game. Silent Hill F, amazing. Final Fantasy Tactics is September. Digimon Storytime, I don't really think anybody, I don't know how well those do in America. But then you can also look at Hell Is Us, Everybody Golf Hot Shots, Demon X Machina, Terminator 2, the 2D Terminator game is out. Star Wars Outlaws for Switch 2, which, whatever. Borderlands 4, Marathon is also out. They're also talking about there's like 3 other ones coming out. So I don't know. I could see a bunch of these people moving their games. If you think all those games suck ass, Tisco Wave, I don't know what to tell you. You're telling me that you think Silent Hill F looks bad? You're telling me that the Terminator 2D game looks bad? You're telling me that Final Fantasy Tactics HD Remaster looks bad? Okay. I mean, I support your right to believe what you want to believe, but what? What are you talking about? Okay, well then I just think you're a moron, but you have a right to your opinion. I support your right to your opinion. Good for you. Enjoy that. Speaking of a game though, that I am disappointed in, that I do think, sounds like it's going to be shit, is this one. Let me show this to you right here. I liked the trailer. A lot of you guys didn't. Maybe you could see the writing on the wall, but I was excited for Mind's Eye, and I'm surprised. Mind's Eye is leaked. It's doesn't have the day one patch, which of course now the developer is saying, no, you got to have the patch. It doesn't work without the patch. Trust me. Okay, fine. But I still hold out hope that maybe it will be a technical jank fest, but it hopefully will be a great deal of fun. But here's the 2 things. This is from PC Gamer that have happened to this game recently. This just went up today.
You'd think a bunch of former Rockstar devs making a game that looks kind of like GTA would be a relatively simple thing. But guess again. Mind's Eye, the debut game from former Rockstar honcho Leslie Benzies, has run into the rocks as 2 high-level execs quit a week ahead of release. The studio's chief legal officer Riley Grebner and chief financial officer Paul Bland have both thrown in the towel at a critical moment. Which is, well, weird as hell. Execs come and go, but 2 C-suite types heading out a literal week before your debut game? It's not a great look.
That's pretty weird.
Meanwhile, the dev studio's co-CEO is out there claiming there's a conspiracy to trash the game before it comes out. It's a bizarre tale, and if Mind's Eye is actually good, it'll feel like a minor miracle at this point. Check out the full story on PCGamer.com and follow us here for more gaming news.
So I know that, like, I think Mr. Matty Plays played it recently. 2 weeks ago, said he was not really high on it and stuff. But again, if this ends up being like a Saints Row, the last Saints Row, I will be very, very fucking happy. Because a lot of things that a lot of gamers need, clearly, when it comes to reviews, I don't. And I love this thematic genre. I love this, action movie with a little bit of sci-fi. And if it's that with Saints Row, I'll be more than happy. And people shit all over that. So I'm totally cool with that. I don't have a problem with that, Roadkill. Roadkill says the trailer was fake. It's an asset flip. Neither one of those things go together. You can have a very realistic trailer that's an asset flip. Asset flips are not a bad thing. You know how many movies reuse sets? How many times have they used the Back to the Future town square courthouse in movies? So I don't really care if it. I mean, think about what you're saying. It's kind of elitist gatekeeping. This sudden hatred of asset flipping. It's like, first off, I don't think it was an asset flip. Not that it should matter, because I think they were using their tools that they wanted to also bundle with it, so you could make your own games and shit. But regardless, though, let's say every asset in that game came from the Unity store or came from the Unreal store or whatever. Who gives a shit? Does that, I mean, you're basically saying you don't want a guy or a girl who wants to make a game that doesn't have all the money in the world, but they have imagination and a willingness to learn how to put a game together. That's bad that they've purchased prefabricated elements to tell the story and to make their game. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous. It's one of those toxic online phrases that people have picked up and they don't really even understand, I would think, what they're saying half the time. Because so what? I mean, it's weird to me, man. Yeah, Rob says almost all Westerns were filmed in the same town. Yeah, of course. Of course. It's not a real game, says Roadkill. It's a tool that they made a couple of missions in horde mode that you can play. Okay, but that's different, though. If that's what the game is, then I won't like it. But that doesn't mean the trailer they put out was filled with flipped assets, and it doesn't mean that the trailer was fake. Okay. People think the devs using pre-made assets, says Jarvis, the same like those lazy just throw a bunch of assets and do nothing. I don't have a problem with those either, though. If it's a fun fucking game, it's a fun fucking game. You know, even if it's a goofy, stupid fucking game and it's meant to be janky. I just, I got to tell you, it bugs the shit out of me, clearly. I don't mean to go off on this, but it bugs the shit out of me that as gaming it's like nothing is good enough for some people. Maybe it's just the console. Maybe the console generation that came up with consoles are so fucking spoiled. And they just demand everything be only for them. But if you look at these games that have done really well on PC, that have made lots of people happy, whether you're talking Section 1 or all these names escape me. What was the, Repo or whatever. Repo has brought tons of people hundreds of thousands of hours of joy. I think it's an asset flip. I've seen that table in another game before. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? What are you doing here? Why are you even playing fucking games if that's what you're focused on? What are you really focused on? You're probably just upset about something and you're taking it out there. Pisses me off. Leave people alone. Let them make what they want to make. Let them use what assets they can find, they can afford to express themselves creatively. Jaffe, I'm not saying those games, I'm saying actually badly made games. Okay, but that's different. Any badly made game, whatever money they've spent, is a badly made game. I mean, the asset aspect isn't what makes it bad. What makes it bad is people who were making whatever game it was didn't give a shit. So, All right, well, let's move on, shall we? We are literally $23 away from showing you this game, and we are starting to run out of time, though, because I want to be able to play it for at least 10 minutes for you, and if we reach that $50 goal, but we haven't reached it with enough time, I may have to show it to you tomorrow, but I'll do the best I can. And then don't forget, we are 8 members away from being able to wake up early with old Papa Jaffe and stream games for an hour before the day gets going. Come on, how can you say no to that? I wear my pantyhose and everything. Okay, let's move forward though, shall we? But I am going to keep my eye open for Mind's Eye. I hope it does well. I hope it's good. Here's something else I didn't know, right? We're going to talk about James Bond in a second, but the Metal Gear trailer yesterday, which I played Metal Gear Delta when it was out. I obviously not Delta, but Metal Gear Snake Eater. I liked it. I didn't finish it. I got busy with a bunch of other things. So I'm excited just for that. But I never got around to playing the multiplayer version of Metal Gear. Like I kind of heard about it, but I just, not something I did. I was busy making games, or I don't fucking remember. But anyway, at the end of this, apparently that's what we were seeing, is we were seeing some footage as a hint. Here it is right here. Apparently this is all multiplayer. And it's based off of, or it's a revamp, I guess. And I'm sure you guys played this. I didn't play it. Metal Gear Online, it says, pits 2 teams of soldiers against each other across various modes. They did multiplayer in 4? I don't remember. What do you mean everything's behind a paywall, Bad Robo? Have a nice day. I'm out. You're not even a member. You pay nothing. You're welcome for getting a free fucking show and a free conversation. Jesus. Okay, bye. Bye. Unless you're not talking to me, in which case I love you. That may sound pretty standard, but the magic of Metal Gear Online is the depth of Metal Gear's existing systems, because what you do in the game is it says 2 teams of soldiers against each other across various modes, deathmatch, capture the flag, etc., with the top scoring player on each team becoming one of the game's main characters in the next round, where you'll have unique equipment and abilities. Apparently this was really good. It says Metal Gear Online did not survive long in the wild. Konami turned off the servers in 2006 to 7. And I never got around to playing it, but sweet. I want to play. Did you guys play it? How was it? A good example, there are templates on Unity like open world game template, and you use that to build off. Some people buy them and just sell it with no work. Well, I don't know. Give me an example of a game where they just bought it and sold it with no work. I'm sure that doesn't happen. I'm not saying they don't just reskin it, but that's work, right? But if you're saying they literally buy open world game template and then resell the same product, I imagine that would be illegal, because you're basically buying something and selling exactly what you bought and calling it something else. But yeah, I'm interested in Metal Gear Online, and it does say and more. It says, because Metal Gear Online says One Pump needs an extraction mode. Cool. We might have one because it says and more. I don't know where it's going to go. I never played it either. I didn't get into Metal Gear till later. Now Kojima is one of my favorites. Yeah, I'm with you, Guy, for sure. Morgan played it. Did anybody else play this and liked it? If you played online and liked it, hit 1. Hit me a 1 in the chat so I can know. Because, I mean, I'm going to get the game anyway. But it was never on my radar to even consider playing online at all. But Left Control likes it. Afro likes it. Morgan likes it. One Pump, PG, Rob. All right, great. Oh, thanks, Guy. I appreciate that, buddy. Excellent. All right, it's good to know. I will be getting it. Speaking of online, by the way, after Madhouse tonight, we might be playing that sock jury game if you want to play with us. So I'll get you information in Madhouse, but there you go. Sorry, BT Maverick. I'll miss you, buddy. Okay. Let's move forward. I want to look briefly at Kojima never fails. Okay. He's not my favorite. I like him a lot, but I want to look at this trailer. Let's watch the trailer. You've already seen it. I've already seen it. I've watched it twice. I want to watch it one more time. Then I want to talk about it. We are running out of time, though. $23 away from the Cult PS1 Classic. 8 members away from a gameplay stream. Let's go. Let's get the ducats rolling in. Let's support the show. Dano Genesis says Suda51's the GOAT. Look, he's very hit or miss to me. You know, I thought Shadows of the Dam was really, really good. I liked No More Heroes on the Wii, but I couldn't stick with it, and I certainly didn't play the sequels. You know, but in some of us, you know, but I am absolutely very interested in checking out this Romeo as a Dead Man, because if it plays well, it looks awesome. It looks awesome if it's not too janky. What do I think about the new Bloodstained game? I didn't know that's what it was when they first showed it. And my question to you on that is, was the first one multiplayer? Because if it was, that's cool, because this one was multiplayer, I think. And yeah, I think it looks awesome. Awesome Tatum, PS1 train. You goddamn right. Thank you for the $3, buddy. He's getting us there. We're $20 away. $20 away. Let's fucking make this happen. Let's fucking go. Sorry. I was up late last night. Can you believe that Bad Robo comes in here and says shit's behind a paywall? You pay for I don't know what to tell. I mean, again, he has a right. He has a right to do whatever the fuck he wants. I support his right as a good goddamn American. Let him do what the fuck he wants. But Jesus Christ, man. Forgive us for trying to, like, you know, hire an editor and have the money to pay the editor and build a show that people like. Sorry. Guess everything should be free. That pisses me off. Should that piss me off as much as it does? Probably not. Mr. T says, I took the Switch 2 back to the store for a refund. It's plain garbage. I prefer my Steam Deck. Okay, but wait a minute. You actually think that it's garbage, or there's just not anything that you want to play? Or it's not good enough, but garbage? I've heard no one say it's garbage. Ravno says it's likely due to the classic play 30 out of 50 on the screen. Well, what the fuck's wrong with that?
Jaffe's crew is working for peanuts, and even those have gone up in price.
You goddamn right, Dano Genesis. Thank you, buddy, for being a member for 55 months. Now that, my friends, is how you support a channel. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it, Dano. Always good to see you, buddy. All right, let's watch the trailer and talk about it. I wasn't disappointed. I was only disappointed because I expected something else. Somebody earlier in the chat said, I don't like how it feels juvenile. I didn't really get that, but let's talk about it. But let's give this a watch. This was yesterday's first light. We should be getting more information on this tomorrow at 6 o'clock at the IO show. I know he mentioned the paywall. I know what he was talking about. What did I think of the Marvel fighting game? I thought it was fucking great. Looks awesome. Okay, let's see. Jarvie, I'll look at that in a second. Okay. Where'd it go? Brandon, I don't want you to subscribe if you don't have the money. Don't do that. Do not do that, please. If you can't afford it, don't be a moron. Save your fucking money. But if you can't afford it and it doesn't hurt you and you want to throw some ducats at something you appreciate and like, we'd love to have your money. But I don't want you spending money if you don't have it. Don't do that, please.
His parents cut their own rope to save him. He watched them fall, then found his way off that mountain. He was 11 years old.
He then started a grand tour of every major boarding school in Britain.
Always at the top of his class.
Always at odds with authority. Same thing in the Navy.
His superiors all praise his instincts.
By the way, hang on a minute. Did it say James Bond yesterday on the folder? Or is this a slight re-edit? I don't think it said James Bond yesterday, did it? I think it was just a folder, because I think they waited, right, to reveal it was James Bond. But I could be wrong. Maybe I just missed it. But I would have noticed that. Does anybody know?
Of early retirement. Nobody knows what to do with him, Mom.
No, and I suspect he feels the same way. But what he did in Iceland...
What he did in Iceland was insubordination.
Oh, it did. Okay, gotcha.
Ill-disciplined, utterly reckless. He only survived thanks to blind luck. Give me one good reason to put him in the program, Mom.
I think you just covered them all, Greenway. It's really quite simple. Bond is
Thanks,
a
Guy.
bullet without a target. Let's give him one.
I saw that people said this was woke. These idiots, these morons.
Do you have an appointment?
The name's Bond.
James Bond. He's with me.
And you are? Don't think we've had the pleasure.
Now let's not get ahead of ourselves, James.
So you shouldn't have.
We're facing a situation of the utmost delicacy. I need all my pieces on the board.
009 is a master manipulator. Whatever the endgame is, we won't see it coming.
Jet lag. Gets me every time.
She's not your friend, Bond. She's an asset.
With respect, Mom. To hell with that.
Tell me, what do you do, James?
Lately, headhunting. I suppose this is another teachable moment.
So, okay. So I have some thoughts. First, let me say, though, thank you so much for Brandon. We do appreciate that, buddy. I hope it's no skin off your nose. Thank you so much. 8 members. He has joined. He has ascended again to the Diet Soda Soldiers. We appreciate it, buddy. We are at 8 out of 15 members to get up early tomorrow with Papa Jaffe. Shut up. And play Neo. At least, well, we're going to play for an hour. I assume the demos, I'll be lucky to get through it in an hour. But if we get through it, we'll jump to other things. But that's a 9 a.m. stream. We are 7 members away. And we are only $20 away from being able to play a cult PlayStation 1 classic that I want to tell you, it was very, here's what I'll tell you. Let me sweeten the pot. But thank you, Brandon, regardless if we make it or not. It was very influential to me making a game after Twisted Metal 2 that was a dud. I still to this day don't know what lessons I was supposed to take from it. But I also still to this day fucking adore it. All right, that's that game. Okay, now, James Bond. What was it? Was it?
Guy has just donated $4.99
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, sir.
Super Chat. Not Dem nor Republican, just Catholic Latin cross saluting face.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you so much, Guy, for that. I don't know who you're responding to, but that said, thank you so much. We're getting very, very close. We may actually make it, folks. We're at $35. Am I talking about Rogue Trip Vacation? Nope. No, it is a game that you probably have never, ever heard of. Some like Morgan may have heard of it, right? Because she's some of the real hardcore early PlayStation people may have heard of it. But my guess is most people have absolutely not heard of this game. But we'll see. Maybe we'll see. Thank you for that, though, Guy. We appreciate it. Okay. James Bond, though. Oh, yeah. Good to see you, Wayne. Hello, Wayne B. So it is a prequel before he becomes 007, clearly, or when he's about to earn, it says earn the number, right, is the tagline. A couple of things about this. The thing that I was hoping for, and we don't really know, and I bet this time tomorrow we're going to be in a much better position to know.
Dono Genesis has just donated $5 through Super Chat.
Holy
Thanks,
cow.
pal.
Thank you, buddy.
I believe in science.
I believe in science, too. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Dano Genesis, for all your support you've shown today of the show and the channel. We appreciate it tons. There we go. We're $10 away from this delightful skedaddling game. I cannot wait to show it to you. Hopefully we can. Thank you, buddy. So what we don't know about is how much Hitman is this, right? Like, is it basically you've got these James Bond style cutscenes, and then they open up these big sandboxes and let you basically be James Bond. In which case, that's not exactly what I wanted. I, like some people who watch the show regularly know, I wanted this to be open world, but that's more than good enough, and that's better than I've ever had with a James Bond game that lets me feel like James Bond. So that's cool. The problem is the trailer, this is a trailer that you would cut if you had Uncharted. But they don't have the production chops to make Uncharted. And it's evident here, right? So what you're left with is they're not blowing your mind with really cool, interesting, emergent gameplay, which is what Hitman is known for, which they do so well. And again, they made Tomorrow. But they're not showing you any of that. And what they are showing you is like a B- team's version of trying to rip off Uncharted. And so if it wasn't for James Bond, or if it wasn't for the fact that you knew this team is fantastic, I think, like, imagine this trailer if it was just shown at Summer Games Fest and it didn't have James Bond and it didn't have Team IO. Nobody would be talking about it, right? It would just be, oh yeah, I remember that fucking thing, right? So I absolutely feel that I think this is still going to play more like Hitman than Uncharted, and I hope so. The other thing that's really interesting to me about this is I want to see how many views this has and likes this has. So it's been a day. It doesn't even have 1 million. Let me go to play. I don't know who would. I guess State of Play was the one that. Let me just go to PlayStation. Because James Bond strikes me as Indiana Jones, right? Today's kids, James Bond is more relevant than Indiana Jones was. But he's still, your average... I don't know who this is for, I guess. I love James Bond. I grew up with James Bond. So I'm certainly excited for it. But I look at it and I go, is this for young kids to come to the James Bond franchise and fall in love with it? Is this, hang on, PlayStation James Bond. Is this for nostalgia people like me that are old and came up with Bond in the movies? All right. So over on PlayStation though, it has a couple million. It has like 1.7 million views. That's pretty good. But I know, well, people grew up with Daniel Craig's Bond, says Denova. Yeah, but Bond hasn't been those. I love those movies, by the way. Skyfall was amazing and all that shit. But I don't hear a lot of people talking about James Bond like they did when I was a kid and a teenager and things like that. So I just kind of wonder if the brand is going to take them as far as they think. But either way, I'm excited for it. I think I wonder, like I said, does Hitman doesn't have vehicles, does it? I don't think Hitman has like car chases and shit. So like, is this a cinematic, or is this actually they're going to put you in the car and let you, drive? Or, I mean, it looks like you're driving, but has Hitman ever done that? Or is this right here? I'll show you. This part right here, this shot, which kind of looks like there was a car combat 007 game. And it looks like that, right? But is this like a big open sandbox and you can drive and have chases in it? Or is this now it's time for the car chase level? In which case, again, it feels really old school to me. Which, whatever. I'm there day one. I'm picking it apart because I'm curious and I'm excited and I want to know what we're getting. And tomorrow we'll know. Smog says, I imagine it's a linear chase sequence, like it's on rails. Yeah, I don't want that, but I'll play it. It looks more cinematic, says Wayne. Yeah, but if you're going to be cinematic and you can't go head to head with Naughty Dog or Santa Monica, you shouldn't do it at all. But I love all these stories. It's clearly going to be about a master super quantum computer. Super fucking awesome. Super fucking awesome. Jarvie, I will look at those. Thank you for that. And I'll put it on the next show, on the next Gavin and Games tomorrow. We'll talk about it. I'll show those examples. It looks, but we'll see. But out of all the games yesterday, this is probably my most anticipated game. I think the character looks pretty generic. I don't think there's anything. I mean, what's funny is they're like, we're going to make our own James Bond. It's like, okay. And you couldn't have ended up, you couldn't have ended up with a more generic looking character, which is totally fine. It's totally fine. But come on, man. Really? Who looked at that and said, we got it, boys. That's it. We've been doing, we spent 2 years looking for the look of Kratos. And when we finally got it, it was like, okay, I think we're good. I think that's it. Do you really think these guys, when they landed on this, it was like a light bulb went off and said, oh my God. Well, I'm thrilled it's his actual face, but who gives a shit? He's still pretty, still generic as shit, man. I hear he's a good actor though. I don't have a problem with him. I'm just saying it's interesting that's where they ended up with, or that's where they ended up. He's Ethan Hunt. Why are people calling it Mission Impossible, says Prince? Well, they don't have the license probably. And even the latest Mission Impossible hasn't done that well. I haven't seen it, but I love those movies. So yeah, this Bond's an asset flip. That's exactly right. I haven't played Everything or Nothing. No. Okay. Hey, check that out. Moneybags McGee, Brandon Walters, I think took us to the dance there. Look at that. I am going to show you now. Thank you, buddy. We made it just in time. I'm going to explain what we're doing. Everybody thank Brandon for taking us to the dance. We got there. We're going to play this cult classic. We will not, unless we get 7 more members, we won't be game streaming tomorrow morning, but we will be doing this in just a second. Thank you so much. Let's have the girl shoot the guy. Come on, the alien vampire. Here we go. Oh, that was for Brandon. That's for Brandon, you son of a bitch. That's for Big B, Brandon Waters. Okay. He's not dead yet, but he'll die soon. Thank you for that, buddy. Okay, so this is a game, and I'm going to tell you the title first, and I want to explain what this arcade machine is doing. But now you have an extra day, because tomorrow, one of the goals that we're going to have, one of our paywalls, is I want you to compete with me on this game, and I want to see who gets the high score. We'll do it all at the same time on tomorrow's show, if you guys want to. And whoever gets the high score will go on to the Arcade Hall of Fame, which lasts for a week. This is just Ravnos' icon because I just grabbed it from Discord. But whatever face you want, that's the reward. You'll have your name on it. Everybody will know, okay, I am the best player of this particular game. I'm going to give everybody 10 minutes to play it at the same time tomorrow during the stream. I know you don't see it. It's not up yet. And that is going to be that's what we're doing. But for today, I want to show you the game. Okay. So this is a game. I'm going to say the title first and see. Have you heard of this game? Maybe you have. It's called Harmful Park. It never came out in America. I don't think it ever came out in the UK. It came out only in Japan. I played it on PS1 in the offices, and it was incredibly inspiring to me because it is a shoot 'em up. And when I was making this game called Dark Guns, what blows my mind about this, and you will see it almost immediately, the amount of unique sprite design, animation. It was like there was absolutely no limit on the developer. Usually in a game like this, it's like, look, we only have the resources to do 5 ships, 4 bosses, this, that, the other, whatever. This is just like every screen was something new and something interactive. And I took that lesson and I said, I want to do that for my game Dark Guns. But when we tried to do it in Dark Guns, it absolutely just, I think maybe the stuff that I was coming up with it didn't pop enough for the audience. And so when people played it, when you see this, and I'll give you the link so you can play it too. When you see this, you'll be like, I think if you're like me, you'll go, wow, that's a cool, it's like watching an old classic Warner Brothers cartoon. It's like, that's funny. That's cool. That's a neat gag. That, everywhere you look, something cool is happening. And I think Dark Guns, we tried that, but we just didn't have enough cool shit. Right. So let me show you this. I'm going to play it for about 10 minutes. This is on emulation. Let me move my screens around here. It's quite delightful. It really is one of my favorite, I am going to stream it. I'm going to stream it for about 10 minutes. And then tomorrow, if you want, we can compete with each other to see who gets to be the first in the arcade. Tech, yeah, I'll need a little bit more time. We're going to throw to Tech after this. So he's going to do a stream for about an hour and a half, and then he's going to kick us over to Madhouse. So we're just going to be doing content up until like 9 tonight, maybe later. So, but first we're going to look at this together. This is Harmful Park. And then where'd it go? Here it is right here. All right, let me make it big and play now. And I want you to just pay attention. Hang on, let me do this so you guys can see it better. Pay attention to. Hang on, you can't see anything, can you? Hang on, wrong screen. One sec. Yeah, pay attention to just all of the detail and all of the unique shit that's happening on the screen. And check this shit out. Well, we're trying, Abdul, to do we're not going to call it the Jaffe streaming universe, but we're going to do exactly that, though. All right, there is sound, but there's not sound here. I don't know what the story is. I guess it's a theme park that shit goes south. I don't fucking know. Who the fuck knows with these people? Fucking game developers from all in weed. Okay. Is that too loud? All right. You are a girl on a flying... Okay, that's pretty loud. Hang on. You are a girl... No, I have no idea who made this. That's a really interesting question. Never thought to look it up. You're a girl on a flying thing. I don't fucking know what I'm looking at, what she's riding. All right, tell me if the audio is okay or if it's too loud. So she has like look at the detail. Even like even that enemy, like the all right. Let me change weapons, though. I don't know. All right. So she can change weapons. They all power up. And watch how much variety there is in the enemies and the backgrounds and the interactivity. Oh, it is cool, and it gets cooler. Like, look, the amount of shit. Where do they have the time? But it gets cooler. Every screen, new stuff. Is it too loud? Okay, I'm trying to figure out where the sound is. Sorry. Hang on. Where is the audio for this? Internet screen. All right, tell me if this is better. Now here's the teacups with coffee. It's like they just let the artists go nuts and make whatever the fuck they wanted. Ricky, it plays a lot different than Jetpack Joyride, though. I think it'd be cool if you had another player that could be a 2D side scroller, so he's down below and you're doing this. But yeah, keep watching. It gets batshit in a minute. Like, these guys are just drinking gasoline and spitting it at you. KP, my day's going great. How's yours? There may be co-op. All right, so here's the first boss. He's pretty simple, though. This guy worked on Tactics Ogre? Do you really? Okay, so now this next level is my favorite part. I've never finished it though, but this is pretty cool. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this link in a second. Here's the haunted house, which is my favorite. You see their baseball bats. Get it? Do you get it? Oh, I love that game, man. I love the new Indiana Jones. Yeah. What's the background? Look at the shit happening in the background. Look at that. I mean, even that, the fact that you got to shoot the guy before he rubs the lamp so the genie won't come out. I mean, it's just little details, man. I don't think there's any music, no. This is the only game they let him direct? Okay, here's the wedding I was telling you about. This is great. All right, so they're getting married, right? This is the coolest thing. And this guy runs in and he really loves her instead. And now the tears will kill you and their love will kill you. Okay, so look, I don't want to ruin any more surprises. So here's the deal. So tomorrow show, if there is a demand for it, I'm going to put the link right now if you want to practice, right? So the link is right there in the chat. You can play it in your browser. Tomorrow's show, if there's a demand for it, we're going to take the last 10 minutes or so of the show and we're going to play. And you're going to play on Discord, though, so we can watch you playing. And whoever has the highest score at the end of 10 minutes will get to be the first inaugurated member of the Gabbin' Games Arcade. Your icon will go here. It'll stay up for a week. And that's happening. So if you want to play it and you want to compete with me tomorrow, if nobody beats me, nobody gets it. But hopefully, I'm sure somebody will. Somebody will. But that is what is happening on tomorrow's show. Okay, so give it a play if you're interested. Thank you guys very, very much for letting us get to that level. And again, finally, yeah, it is interesting. Morgan said the guy who directed it has done a lot at Sony. No, it was Flongle said it. Fujita was the only director of the game. Seems he's done a lot at PlayStation, but it was the only game they ever let him direct. Isn't that something? Abdul says the person credited for illustration ends up becoming a VFX art director for most of the Kingdom Hearts games and the lead visual effects artist for Final Fantasy 16. Well, there you go. There you go. All right. So I'm going to throw you guys to a new stream that we're testing out with. I'm going to be talking about Trump and Elon tonight on Madhouse. That'll be part of Madhouse. That's coming up at 6 o'clock. Right now, I'm going to redirect you in about 3 minutes once I get it set up. Tech Protect is doing a show on his channel. Give him a subscription. And if you like what he's doing. Once he gets 1,000 subs, he'll be integrated into this network and he'll be able to redirect you back to Madhouse. But we're building it. It's slow going, but we'll get there. While I'm setting that up, if anybody out there is considering, we're only 7 members away tonight, you guys. We're 7 members away from being able to get up tomorrow, 9 o'clock California time, and stream Neo 3 and whatever else we have time for. So if you want a early morning game stream and you want to go through the Neo 3 demo to see if I get any chance of beating it, that'll be happening tomorrow morning. But we are 7 members away. It's 1 member each. So all you got to do is pop it in the till. But you have a few more minutes while I set this up. Tech, are you watching? And if you are watching, can you hit me up with the link so I can redirect to you? Maybe you've put it. Have you put it? Let's see. Where is your link? When is P Turtle getting a show? I don't think so. But oh yeah, let's go see where the statue is while we're waiting for the link. 1 second. Let's go see where Lynx is. Speaking of Lynx, with the statue there. So this is, Addie Pie, no, it's not happening. This is the statue. And I will also tell you, as I it's not like a warning. I don't care. Do what you want to do. But as I get very busy with all these different shows, what I am finding is my tolerance for trolls is getting, I don't like it anymore. I don't have the patience for it. So if you want to do that, that's fine, but just be aware that I may not have the patience for it. Oh, let's see. Here's what we got. So she's doing Supergirl for me and she's doing Bloodborne for me. And these will be shipping out Friday. She looks great. Let's see. Hang on.
Easier that way.
Oh yeah. Look at her go. She's fast.
And that's
Ooh,
how I decided
baby.
to go with the base.
Ooh, baby, look at her. Look at my girl. Look at Supergirl. That'll be on here next week. It'll be in the back. I did play the first Berserker. Really liked it. Haven't finished it, but look at that.
Like I said, it's hard because I really need to get a light to go behind me, but
I think she looks awesome. Excellent. Excellent job.
I think that's statue number 1 done.
Yeah, I love it. I can't wait to have it. Looks
fantastic.
It does. And she does a lot of different statues. So once I get it here, I'll put the links up to it and everything. She looks great. Look at that.
Look at the booty on that
You
girl.
goddamn right. You goddamn right. Yeah, it is. I'm waiting for you to send me the link, Tech. Yeah, it's the Melissa Benoist one. Kind of looks like a cross between Melissa Benoist and Helen Slater. I just sent you a text. Can you give me the link?
We nailed her. Hopefully Jaffe likes it.
Jaffe likes it a lot. It's great. I can't wait to get it.
Oh yeah, I forgot I zoomed in. I was like, why is it so zoomed in?
Yeah.
It's because I zoomed in.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, she added a Coke to it. Isn't that great? Look at that. And now she's going to start, I don't know if she'll be doing it tonight or tomorrow, probably not tonight. She's starting on the Bloodborne one. So there's going to be a Bloodborne one back there as well. I can't unban the girl because the Discord, they have issues with her. I don't know anything about it. I don't want the drama. I've gotten along great with her. And she told me that she's trying to sort of move out of all that drama and shit. And so, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Meantime, Tech, where you at, man? I'm ready to send you the show, but I don't know where you're at. Well, again, Damon, that's the whole point. I'm not going to get involved with it. And I've told her as much. I've said, your reputation precedes you. I haven't had any issues with you. I get along great with you, and I appreciate you doing this and all that stuff. But my community says that it's probably not a good idea to have you in the community, and she totally got it. This is great. Tech, I'm looking for your link. I have to send you a redirect, right? But I don't know what the link is, so when I set up my stream, I'm waiting for you to right? You know what I'm asking for, right? Where do I put your link? I know where to put it. I just don't know. I don't know what your link is. If any of this makes sense, what I'm saying. So, oh, you already did the link. Oh, I didn't. I thought, okay, all right, I got it. Sorry, fellas. Okay, let me redirect then. Okay, so let me do that. So Tech Protect is going to do a show until 6:30 when he joins us over on the Madhouse at 6:30. Me and Bunny Button. It says redirect, but how do I do that? Like I go to edit and I see it. Do I hit in stream and it'll just do it, Tech?